license plate recognition cameras. These are a little bit different than your typical red light cameras or speed cameras. They're a little bit smaller, usually black in color, and typically will be found just kind of on the side streets, or they can also be mounted on the back of police cars so that as the car drives down the road, it's scanning all of the license plates. So what are license plate recognition cameras, or as we call them in the security world, LPR cameras? They allow business owners to track what vehicles enter or exit their property, or say a parking garage, something like that. As vehicles come in and out, it takes a scan of it, puts it into the database. They can also integrate with systems like, say, an access control system. So that way it can open the door to your community, whether that's a gated community or a garage. You can also have something called a whitelist and a blacklist, so that if a vehicle enters the property and it's, say, on the whitelist, it's allowed to come in. And if it's on the blacklist, maybe some sort of protection barrier comes up. So how do local governments use them? The ACLU's Catherine Crump said, repeated scans of individuals' license plates at different locations can give police a detailed and troubling picture of a person's habits. Where people go can be tremendously sensitive. It reveals patterns of daily life, where they work, who their friends are, even where they go to the doctor, and that can lead to profiling and abuse. Right now, the system seems to be being used for good. It can be inevitably used for things that are not great.
I can think of two ways this helps police do their job. One is to help them recover stolen vehicles faster.
True.
And the second way is preventative. If people know that cars in Washington can be tracked so easily, maybe they will be less likely to take a stolen vehicle into the city or from the city. What would the downsides be? Are there any downsides to this?
It kind of creates a culture of monitoring citizens' activity. A lot of things that start out with good intentions can end up really not great. I see it kind of as a slippery slope where everyone's just constantly being monitored. I mean, you hear about all this stuff in China, right? Where they have, I forget, I think it's over 200 million something cameras controlled by, the government, watching people, watching what they do. Mm-hmm. I know people say, oh, that'll never happen to us. Everyone says things will not happen to them until it does happen to them.
Is it fair to say that it already has happened to us on a bunch of occasions, including the Patriot Act, which was meant as a short-term solution just after 9/11 to combat the current rise in quote-unquote terrorism?
Yep.
It still is around today, over 20 years later.
That's the one where they can basically like tap in and listen to your phone, see all your internet data, like just kind of snoop on you at will almost.
For no reason.
Right. They don't need permission basically.
In the past, they would need to get a warrant and they would have to have a reason to be suspicious of you.
Right.
Now they can do that without any reason of suspicion. Just the fact that you are alive is suspicious to them. Anytime you give the government or the state or police or really anybody, when you have them monitoring civilians that haven't done anything wrong, even with the good intention of, well, it enables us to track people who have done something wrong. Like most of the people they'll be tracking at that point are people that haven't. Like 99% of people won't. And then what happens is that eventually they actually think that's their job, is to monitor average citizens.
Right.
Like we're the police monitoring citizens who haven't committed any crimes. That's our job.
In the article I was reading that I quoted earlier, it was 0.01% of the people were actually, somebody that they were looking for. The rest of the data that was being collected was just everyday people going about their business. I think it's worth asking one simple question. How much privacy are we willing to give up for security and convenience? And as always,
if you enjoyed this episode, like it so we know, and share it so your friends know.
Bye.